working with guys who have prostate surgery. And this morning what I've been asked to come along and do is just teach you how to do the pelvic floor exercises correctly, because that's the main thing we can help you with your continence. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to briefly explain how to do the pelvic floor exercise correctly, and then I'm going to ask each of you in a little while to come and see me one-on-one, and I'm going to do your own ultrasound, and we're going to work out a little program that might be specific to you. So what we're actually looking for is just to see what everyone's pelvic floor strength is like, and then to just monitor that a couple of times while you're here doing the program, so that we can hopefully track your improvement with that as well. So I'll ask you individually if you're having any problems with your incontinence, because we do expect you to be problems with incontinence with this surgery. But if we can get the exercise going really well, we can often find that we can sort it out much more quickly. So has anyone here already been ultrasound? Yep, about a couple of you, okay. And you'll be familiar with that. But basically what I do is I like to just pop the probe on your tummy and have a look and see what your own pelvic floor is doing. And then I'm doing a couple of little timings. Today what I'm going to do is teach you how to do the exercise correctly, and then I'm going to monitor that on the screen. So if you want to just have a look at the little slide that you've got there, have you got one of those yet? I'll just give you one now so you're up with everyone else there. Okay, down here is a bigger diagram, or more, a colourful diagram of the pelvic floor structure in the male anatomy. I might just work from this one actually, so it'll be more clear. Okay, so if we have a look at the male anatomy, we have the bladder, we have the prostate, and right down there, that lucis pelvic floor muscle group. So you've all got that picture at the top there. Okay, so what happens is once the prostate's been removed, the bladder will drop down into that space and rest on the pelvic floor. And the pelvic floor isn't strong enough to cope with holding what the prostate needs to help it with. In most cases, we expect guys to be incontinent. Occasionally, someone slips through without being incontinent. But the idea is, we can train up that muscle. Specifically, we'll get much better continence and hopefully much sooner. Now, I actually usually screen and educate guys on this program before you go into surgery, and a lot of the specialists ask me to do that at least a month to 6 weeks before you go in. So this is strong, so that when this whole situation arises, you don't have that complication of this starting from day one trying to cope with the loss of the prostate, which is a support structure. So what I normally expect is by having that pelvic floor nice and strong, it should take you 6 to 12 weeks to get your continence sorted. And we know that a lot of people don't come around that quickly, but that's pretty much what my expectation is. That means you're back to doing everything you want without wearing continence pads and maybe getting up just once a night. So for some of you that'll be very different to what it currently is or was at the beginning. So, just to make sure we've got the idea of the exercise correctly, just again, I want you to sort of, while I'm talking, you reflect down there and feel it yourself. I want you to just picture that sling there that's at the base of your body cavity. At the back we have the coccyx, which is my tailbone. At the front we have the pubic bone, which is there, and that muscle is like a sling support. Now it's also got two little holes in that sling support, which are the sphincters. They're the ones that open and close for your urine and bowel motions to empty out the waste product. And the pelvic floor muscle is recruited or exercised by simply closing those valves, squeezing them shut. So what we say is very gently, think yourself that you're busting to go to the toilet from either end. You really need to go, but there is no toilet nearby. And that you very gently just think of squeezing that back sphincter and then the front sphincter, like you're just holding on. And then we just relax that. We don't use our tummy muscles or our gluteal muscles, and we don't hold our breath. As soon as we hold our breath, we push down on that pelvic floor, which makes it weaker. And that's a mistake. What I'll be doing is asking you to do 10 of those quickly. I'm going to ask you to do them as hard and as fast as you can, back to back. So I'm going to say, squeeze that back and front passage, and let it go. Squeeze the back and front passage, and let it go. We do that 10 times. And I'm going to actually time you each and see how long it takes to do that 10 times. Then we're going to do lower ones, which the slow one will enable you to get to the toilet instead of actually holding on and not making it, because we want to get more endurance in these muscles. The quick exercise is there to help you with breath incontinence. That's when you cough and sneeze, get up from the chair, bend down, try and put your shoes on, that sort of thing. So I'm building the reflexes in by going quickly, and then we want the duration so you can make it to toilet and not leak into your continence pad by going longer and so on. So I'm going to work out how long each of you can do it by looking at the scan. If you've done it before with physios or anyone, that's okay. So this is something that we're just doing specifically with you for your group at the moment. Now, just to practice the slow one, we'll just do one together, and I'll individually get to come back in and see you just for a couple of minutes. So if we just practice one slow one together, I'd like to very gently squeeze that back in that front passage, and feel like it's drawing up inside, so you should feel a definite lift. And then we hold it up there. We hold it, and we keep breathing. We don't hold our breath, because remember that's going to push it down. So we hold it, and we keep holding it, and we might get up to 10 seconds, or we might only get up to 2 seconds, and then we let it go. So that muscle doesn't fatigue, because we want to do 10 of the slow ones now, we want to give it a rest time, and the rest time needs to be exactly the same length of time as your lift time. So if you can lift up for 2 seconds, we need to let it go and rest for 2 seconds to recover. If it's really struggling, then I always give it a longer rest time, maybe a double or triple rest time before I get to do the next one. And then we just end up getting towards lifting for 10 seconds and resting for 10 seconds. So what I'm going to ask you to all do, as of today, if you're not doing already, 10 quick ones followed by 10 slow ones, with each person being maybe slightly different in how long they hold for. And that is one set that you repeat 5 times over the whole day. Then I'm going to come back halfway through, and we're going to repeat these tests to see how you're going, and then at the end. And hopefully, even if you've got incontinence issues, we'll also find that that is pretty much eradicated by the time you're finished. As I say, I normally expect it to be 6 to 12 weeks from the start of the program to getting the continence sorted, but definitely those blokes who get more than 6 weeks training before are very rarely incontinent after their surgery. That's the trend I've been noticing at the moment. So, what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, is just see you one at a time from now on. If anyone's got any other questions, I don't mind answering them as you come through. So, I'll let you get back to what you have to do.